Lola, come on. Okay.
Who's Lola?
My new girlfriend.
I think probably the first thing that people on YouTube are going to hear is, who's Lola? Hello, guys. We'll start in a minute. I just want to make sure that we are live.
Turn Do Not Disturb on.
No, don't do that.
Turning Do Not Disturb on.
You want to turn it on, not off.
On? No,
I mean
on.
off. Oh, you
no,
want to turn it off.
Very good.
No, turn it off so I can ping you.
No, very good.
I want to be able to ping you. Oh. All right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this midweek podcast, this midweek episode of the Blind Tech Guys podcast. We are recording today is Thursday, 18th February in the States, 19th of February in the rest of the world, and hopefully you're doing well wherever this may find you. This is going to be a very brief podcast. And the purpose of us meeting today is the new Android 12, Android S, whatever you'd like to call it, Developer Preview 1. It has been released, and it is a wonderful, wonderful build. It is so wonderful that I have a Pixel 5 that is completely bricked. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I guess that's not a good thing, Mr. Nimer, because, will Google take that baby back home to mama?
Well, I'll have to figure out how to unbrick it, and if not, then we'll see. We might have to do a Pixel 5 YouTube, how you say, bang bang.
Smashing up party or bang bang party? Yeah, bang. Either that or you'll have to use it as a doorstop for a little while, perhaps. I don't know.
Yes. But I did get it on a Pixel 3a, and Android Authority, as usual, has done a deep dive as well. And, of course, we have a few new things, but here's a couple of things to note. From my experience, it is not worth installing Developer Preview 1 because there are a number of things. First of all, you're not going to have all the new changes that you need or would like to see, because this is mostly aimed at developers. While there will be a few new things, those new things are, again, mainly aimed at developers. Not everything that you see will be sticking around and be actually included in Android S. Sometimes things make it in that don't end up staying very long. And the process of installing requires that you sideload or flash or use a flash tool. If you're not comfortable with the process or you don't have an unlocked Pixel device, well, you can do it with a locked Pixel device, but you have to do the flash or you have to do the side loading, which is not accessible. If you don't know what you're doing, I recommend that you skip this build and wait for it to be rolled out as an over-the-air update, which will probably happen by the time Beta 1 rolls around. So do not, it's my strong advice. You can do what you want, but do not update to this next release now.
Well, the other thing also, Nim, I guess, of importance to people is if you're going to do something like this, as you've attested to earlier, you probably want to do it either on a very old device or a device that you're not using anymore. Just simply because if something goes wrong, you may not be very happy. Let's put it that way.
Or make sure that you've got a way out or something. Well, in any case, let's jump into what's new. And for anyone who wants to install this, you can install this on a Pixel 3, 3A, 4, 4A, 5, or 5. Well, there's no 5XL, so I was going to say 5. 4XL, that's what I meant to say. So you can do it on any of those devices going all the way back to the 3 and the 3XL. And if you want to do it, there's instructions on the Android developer stuff, and we're not going to really include links on all that because we really think that you shouldn't do it, and if you do it, we aren't responsible for anything that may happen to you, so and since you're going to have to figure out how to do it anyway, you might as well look up the link to do it.
So before we dive in, Mr. Nim, let's just have a read of this, where Google is saying that Android 12 is all about making the OS more intuitive, better performing, and more secure. It's amazing. I think they said this last year as well about Android 11. So
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, apparently.
Well, I wonder if a company would actually say, "Hey, we are making our OS less intuitive, less secure, and
Well,
the hell's to use."
I hope not. I mean, maybe that would be more honest in some cases. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a whole bunch of little things, and let's start off with the first point. I guess they're talking about notifications now.
Yeah, so the article that we're including comes from Android Authority. They've done a deep dive. I have spotted some of these things, but we're going to go through this article, and we'll link to this article so you can find out what's new for yourself. Again, nothing really new in terms of accessibility as of yet. Nothing really new in terms of, there's very, very little new that you're actually going to notice as of yet. This is very early days, and it's aimed at developers. So we got notifications. The look of notifications are changing again. Very good. We've got a snooze button so that you can actually snooze notifications for varying lengths of time. If you don't want a notification to be shown, you can snooze it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. If that makes that through to the end, that'd be kind of cool. Definitely.
Yeah. The user interface will change a little bit. The look, it'll have a little bit more modern look, things like that. We've got a couple of other new things in terms of notifications. The backgrounds changed a little bit, and that depends on your theme, but that certainly has changed a little bit. We've got another new thing here in terms of notifications.
A lot about notifications.
Apps will open up a little bit quicker.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's, well, who knows?
That'll be good.
And apparently they're changing the settings as well.
Are targeted towards notifications as well. So
they're changing the settings in the sense of the search bar, apparently, and I'm obviously not having ever seen it. Apparently the search thing doesn't stretch all the way across the screen anymore. So that's another visual thing.
There are some new settings changes. There's a safety and emergency section, so some of these things were maybe found in other places before. But there's a whole new settings option. If you go to your settings list and you go down the list, you will find a safety and emergency section, which will give you access to emergency information, contact stuff. You can add your medical details. The safety app, which used to have the car detection, is now baked into the settings. So that's kind of a Pixel thing, and the emergency SOS feature. So again, some of the features that were found in the old safety app are now integrated into this safety emergency section of the settings.
The thing I like in here, Nim, is that you can, in the quick settings, you can turn off some of those media, those pesky, what I like to call pesky media players that keep appearing. So if that does happen, that would be kind of cool, because I do find a lot of media stuff appears, which is annoying in the quick settings.
Yeah, it seems like you could turn that off per app. So
that'd be cool.
You can't really quite turn them off fully, but if you want them to be turned off per app, then you can turn them off.
Yeah,
for
that'd be
that
nice.
App itself.
Yeah.
We got some new other features. Android Wi-Fi sharing is getting a little bit easier. You can use the nearby share to share Wi-Fi networks. There's a button on the Wi-Fi network share, and it'll find nearby devices, and you can share Wi-Fi networks that way. So you could do like QR codes and stuff before, but now this is a little bit different. There's a bunch of things that you're not going to actually see at this point. And one of those things, a lot of these have to do with audio. So audio effects can be coupled with haptics. So like LG devices have had this, but essentially when you're playing music or something like that, you can have haptics actually, add to, or a game. You can have haptics as kind of an extra add-on. It's like something that boosts the experience. Some people might like this, and some may not even notice it, but Certainly may add to the tactile experience of using the device. I appreciate good haptics, but again, some people don't really care about them. So I also think for this, you'd need to have a device that actually has good haptics, and
Well,
there's
yeah,
not a
that
lot
would
of those out
probably
there,
help.
so.
Exactly.
Gesture navigation has become a little bit improved. So when you have an app that's in full screen mode, you used to have to swipe twice to be able to get out of the app. So go home or something like that, and now you just have to do it once. So very good.
Yep, saves a little bit of time.
There's going to be more things that are integrated, so to get security updates like the runtime, which will be good. Let's see. HEVC support. That's a new codec or whatever. They'll be provided for unsupported app. There's a new image support, AVIF. And that's
this has been around for a while, but I
format.
think they're going to make it more accessible to all other formats, are they? They're going to transcode those other formats across, from the looks of it.
Yeah, apparently this hasn't actually been supported in the past, but it is now supported.
Which is interesting.
Rich content insertion in apps, so apps can actually move content around, like images, audio, things like that. So they can accept content from any source, like a keyboard, a clipboard, or drag and drop, that kind of thing. And this is, again, for developers, and you're not going to notice this right away. Multi-channel audio improvements.
Yeah, this I am interested in. This definitely is an upgrade if you're into your audio.
MPEG-H, playback and pass-through and offload modes. So that'll be interesting, probably for some different headsets and such.
Yeah. And the spatial audio side of things as well, Nim.
Yep, and audio mixers and stuff like that will now be able to do up to 24 channel. It was in the past 8, so now you can do 24. So you can do quite a bit more with audio and make it more immersive and add more sounds and have different channels for things. So that'll be good.
It'd be great if we could have some software that would make that process easier too. Any developers out there?
I think this stuff will be baked into different apps, and for example, you might be able to have a lot more sound effects in different apps and such. And but it'll be interesting. We'll see what developers do with it.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be some changes to foreground services, and we're going to provide a link to that article. Check that out. We'll keep up with the latest changes to Android 12 moving forward and provide any updates as they come out in terms of accessibility and such. Right now, again, there's nothing really there. Nothing that I've seen anyway. But that's kind of where we're at. So if you have any questions on Android 12, definitely let us know.
And I think the other thing, Nim, just quickly, for anyone that was interested, I know there was talk on the group you've mentioned also before we went to air that the next version of TalkBack isn't on that first development. Is that correct? Because some people might be downloading it to see if it is.
There is no new version of TalkBack that I can tell. There is just TalkBack, just the regular version of TalkBack that's out at the moment, which is TalkBack 9.0.
Yeah.
And as far as I see, there's not really any new features. So the TalkBack that comes with Android 12, if you install it, will be just TalkBack 9.
The same one.
That doesn't mean that you won't get updates through the Play Store to newer TalkBack versions by the time you hear this. But that is the TalkBack version that comes with the developer preview. So
well, it'll be interesting to see what comes along in the pipeline, especially in terms of our side of things, I guess, Nim, in the accessibility. Not a huge amount out today, but it's a wait and see kind of scenario, really. I guess.
And by the way, there's, just for anyone wondering from the iOS side, there's never or hardly ever anything new in terms of accessibility at this stage or anything else, really. This first build is mainly targeted at developers with new APIs and things like that. So this is not intended for you to install and experience new features yet. So,
and that won't come out for another few months yet. primarily. So
Yeah, usually the betas are, the first betas out in June. So these are
Yeah.
going to be developer previews up until, May or June. And then you get the first beta usually around May, May, June.
well, this
somewhere
is
around
just simply for developers to get their heads around what's coming, give them plenty of warning.
there. That's right.
As
And
to
they'll
what to
probably start
expect.
updating their apps with some of the new
Yeah.
features and things like that. So,
Exactly. Okay.
all right. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, this midweek episode, please let us know. You can always leave us feedback, and we'll read some feedback that we've received on the weekend. And briefly, too, I want to thank Steve from Melbourne, Australia, for his $25 donation that he sent us.
Oh.
Came through today that I saw.
Wonder if that's Mr. Steve Nichols that we've spoken to before in our New Year's catch-up, maybe. I don't know too many Steves, so thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah. Very good.
I don't think the last name. I think it's a different one. But anyway,
Okay.
definitely want to thank Steve from Melbourne and
Cool.
for your donation. And again, thank you all for listening. We'll see you all on Sunday for the main podcast.
Indeed,
Have a great
Nim.
one,
Thank
and
you.
Thank you, Marco.
Indeed, Nimmer. Thank you very much. Catch you on the weekend.
Bye, guys.